Hey everyone, today on League of Legends Minis I'm going to talk about an aspect of laning on support. One of the most annoying things in the game is a passive support who doesn't exert threat in lane. They just sit back and cast spells, which basically does nothing while you're in lane. Auto-attacking is your primary source of damage during the laning phase, and many players neglect this. One of the most common misconceptions in lower levels of play is that supports can't carry. Well, they can't. Not in the conventional, I'm gonna kill you by doing lots of damage kind of way, but they can by enabling their teammates to be stronger. They're considered enablers. By exerting your dominance in lane through auto attacks, you're enabling your AD carry to farm better and potentially harass the enemy AD carry or support out of lane. Never underestimate your autos. They do a lot of damage, and you should always try to auto whenever you can. I'm sure you've been in a situation where the enemy survived with like 30 HP in a really close all-in fight. Well, think of it this way. If you auto-attacked one more time, that champion would be dead. League is a game played in micro moments, and each of these auto-attacks contributes to your success in the grand scheme of things. Now here are some things to keep in mind when planning to auto. Brush control is really important for when you want to zone and threaten the enemy. You can get off a lot of free damage because the brush can hide your advances or create a separate damage zone outside of the minions and your AD carry's range. Basically, your zone of threat is extended past the minions, and it kind of wedges its way in between the enemy's minion line and the champions. Also, related to brush control and damage zones, don't overextend. Really, don't overextend too hard, otherwise you just take a lot of free damage. If you move too far from your minion line or your AD carry, the enemy duo's effective damage zone can completely overwhelm you and cause you to take a lot of punishment or potentially die. Calculated aggression is what wins lane, not blind aggression. Another thing to keep in mind is minion aggro. Whenever you auto a champion near minions, the minions switch aggro and start to attack you. You have two ways to avoid this or to outplay this. Attack from outside a brush that the enemies have no vision of, then quickly walk into the brush to remove vision of yourself, which basically makes it so the minions will drop aggro as well. Another way is to just simply auto-attack and walk back outside of the minions' range until they drop aggro. The ranged minions will likely hit you a bit, but the melee minions will just chase you around a bit and probably not hit you before dropping aggro. This method is a bit more complicated. It's somewhat related to minion wave control, but that's not the topic for today. So I'll just say that what this does is you break the enemy minion line, and it makes it more difficult to advance because their front line is now way past where it normally would be. Final thing, melee supports won't be able to auto-attack as frequently as range supports, but look out for the moments that you can auto. A lot of melee supports, they actually combine their abilities with auto-attacks, so when you use your abilities to combo someone, that's your opening to get off as many auto-attacks as possible. Remember, every hit counts, so make use of it. Now, regardless of what you do, auto-attacking an enemy champion will cause the lane to shove towards them if they don't retaliate. This is because the minions will stop hitting your minions and target you instead. So you have to make sure you have proper wards or a way to react to potential ganks as your lane pushes up. Laning on support is a lot more complicated than just knowing how to auto-attack, but this is a good start for all the prospective supports out there, especially the ones who just sit back and do nothing. It's a really good idea to understand that that's not the optimal way to play the game. Anyway, that's it for this episode. I hope you enjoyed it, and as always, thanks for watching, and see you next time.